Welcome back, guys, to E&E. We're so excited to be back. It's been a while, and she's nervous. So.
No, I'm not nervous. No, but it has been a bit. But I think it's been a much-needed rest.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if we would have tried to put out anything, it probably wouldn't have been as authentic as we wanted it to be.
Of course.
And I think we've talked a lot about this, and, we prayed a lot about it. But we're just really excited to be back with you guys today.
Yeah, super
and,
excited.
We're low-key rebranding E&E, I guess, because, I think when we first started this podcast... Evolving.
Yeah.
I think when we first started this podcast, it was very much us, not trying to be a certain,
trying to be podcasters for real.
Yeah, and I guess, we were just trying to, push out, a sermon type, instead of just, really talking to us. And me and Evan just had such a dialed conversation before this weekend, and we were like, this is exactly why we wanted to start the podcast in the first place. Us just, talking about what's been on our hearts, things that are going on in our lives, and things that we can just tell you guys about and be more relatable, because I feel like sometimes it was coming off a little too teacher.
Yeah,
it was coming off teacher,
and we're young and we don't really know all that either.
We're still learning.
We're trying to make it through as well.
And I think this rest from the podcast has been so good for us, because it also has allowed us to really deepen our relationships with Jesus and deepen our relationships with the Lord. And we talked a lot about we have to grow separately in order to be able to be strong together.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited.
I know, I'm really
about
excited
this
too.
Next chapter for E&E, and we obviously want to be more active on Instagram and stuff like that. And I think this is really pushing us into that direction and us being more authentic to who we are. Yeah. So we're back.
Yeah, and today we don't have any notes written down. We don't even know what we're gonna talk about. We have not discussed at all what we're doing. I mean, we just got back from a weekend concert. We'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, we haven't discussed it all. So this is kind of how we're going to try to do it. And we're just going to have a coffee conversation just like we did the other day.
Yeah, literally.
And to start...
If you're watching on YouTube, you can obviously see that we're in a new environment.
Yep, new place.
Evan just moved into a new apartment before school started, because school has started for us now. And
first week just finished, yeah.
Yeah, and so he's been decorating, and there's 4 guitars behind us, his guitars.
All my babies.
Yeah, and they look so good. I think the whole setup of the place just looks phenomenal. I think it looks fantastic.
It's homey. It's really homey. And
it is really homey.
Because my last place, you guys saw the best part of it, but it was pretty old and it just didn't feel homey. It was kind of so.
Very bland.
Yeah, this is a lot better. Already. I mean, we just moved in, but I also got my foosball table in here. You've heard a little bit about that. So I might go hit a shot while we're recording or something.
No, he's not going to.
I'm not supposed to, but no solos for you today.
Bro. But yeah, so I think we have always had a lot of things on our heart that we've wanted to talk to you guys about. Definitely be more open about things that we're going through, and just all the chaos and all the things that we're going through right now. First week of school just finished. Insane. I'm a senior. I'm sad. I'm happy. We just had our first cross country meet yesterday. I didn't race in it, just because we had many of the new people racing in our cross country meet. No, because we had a bunch of new people running in our cross country meet, and coach just wanted a certain group of people to keep training, and then we'll have our first meet in September. But this has been such a whirlwind of senior year, bro. I'm literally in a pickleball class.
And it just started.
I'm literally in a pickleball class. Don't tell me that this is my senior year. I feel like I'm just lollygagging. And there's another class that I'm in, and it's literally they were telling us how we're gonna be sleeping for the class. And
I wish I was in that class.
And it makes me giggle sometimes whenever I'm in classes like this, because then I can see why people are college is a scam, bro.
Yeah, for real. You were paying college to sleep.
Is college a scam? But then again, I feel me and Evan have talked about this. I feel in life, or just in college, I guess, I think right now we're kind of in because I'm in this mindfulness class, and I think it's going to be a really fun class, and I think I love getting different perspectives on how you can better your mental health, things about how to regulate your emotions, regulate your stress levels, and that's pretty much what this class is, stress management. But sometimes I feel we're in this headspace, especially as a Christian too, where it's kind of like we need things to sedate the pain, and we're in this like feel good era.
Yeah, I had a class very similar to this. It was like mindfulness and compassion last year, and it was like it was basically like having a reason for like everything like that, everything and anything that ever goes on in your head. It's like, oh, how can you like meditate on this and this and this and that and all
I think
this
meditation is great.
Yeah. And every time I would type an answer though, I would just say Jesus.
Bruh. Like, I think, yes. I actually had a really nice conversation with one of my teammates, and it was talking about like how for us, when there are things like grounding whenever we feel really anxious, overwhelmed, or we just feel really stressed out. A lot of people ground, and I think grounding is great. I love grounding, going to nature and like feeling the earth, grass. I think grounding is amazing, but I think when grounding starts getting a little bit too much like okay, this is the only way that I'm gonna feel better, rather than going to Jesus, or rather than going to the creator of.
It's like life hacks instead of talking about like God. And it's
and I think that's when it gets a little bit skewed. Like, I think it's amazing to go on your little nature walk, meditate, go on your nature walk and listen to worship music, talk to God. But I think when we start resulting to only going to things like the creation of things rather than going to the creator of things, that's when it gets really like skewed, and that's when we start relying and we start idolizing on, oh my gosh, I need to ground in order to feel better. No, you just need to read your word to feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we're in this generation now too where I think we rely on a lot of like the self-help books, and people are slowly starting to realize that these self-help books aren't actually helping them. They're making them feel better temporarily, but in the long run, they're not really finding their purpose or their passion in anything. And I think the only reason to feel so lost and empty is because the people that are writing the self-help books need the help as much as you do. And so I feel like it's really tough too, because like obviously I think these things are great. I think meditation is wonderful. I think there are things that work for certain different types of people. Like, it's not one size fits all, especially for the Bible. Like, it's not one size fits all, but it is, one size that explicitly tells the truth.
And one God fits all.
Yeah, and I think a lot of like people nowadays are really scared to face that truth because it's like kind of scary.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I say God-fearing, kind of.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's really scary to be confronted with like a truth of like, oh my gosh, am I doing it all wrong?
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like my little thoughts for the first week of school. But honestly, like, I feel like it's been super cool to like get different perspectives and like get to meet different people, get to have fun too. Like, even though like I'm taking some like, easy classes or whatnot, I'm also taking like physiology lab, and those are things that are just so amazing to like look at how the body works and how God's design, how we can really put that into action, because I want to eventually go into like health. And I think health is super important, and I think it's something that like God has truly blessed us with, like having good health, having a healthy mind, body, and spirit. I think those are just super, super, super important. And so it's really cool to like integrate that into things that I want to do in my real life. Like, I'm taking a health promotion class, that's my major, and I already know I'm going to have so much fun in that class. And then I'm taking like a theories class, and I'm super excited for what this year has in store, but it's also like sometimes I think now my brain is wired where it's like, but Jesus, how is Jesus fitting in all of this? And I think once you really start devoting your life to Christ, it's like, how can I not see him in everything?
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, it's not how is he fitting this, he is fitting everything. Like, how is everything else fitting in, it's kind of like the opposite. But so she's lucky. I am in a bunch of good classes, but kind of like not like fun classes, because it's my junior year and I'm like finally like hammering on all the cores that I need to do and like all the like sort of like actual classes I have to take. And so the good thing is I have a bunch of great teachers, so I'm actually really excited for this year. This is probably like, so far, I know it's the first week and like you don't really know everything yet, but like so far it's definitely the best year I've had in college, or best semester, just because like even though I can tell these classes are going to be tough, it's also like, okay, I actually enjoy the toughness of these classes versus like, oh, I've got this stupid homework I have to do and this stupid, like that's how I always felt about a lot of my other classes.
Like getting challenged.
Yeah, exactly. But Yeah, it's definitely gonna be challenging, but it's exciting for sure.
Yeah, and you're not in any like mindfulness.
No, I did that last year.
Yeah, no, like it's so funny too, because over the summer, like I feel like, I don't know, God really like plants little seeds into your brain. And like when I was younger, I really wanted to be a lawyer. Like I loved debating and I loved just yapping and like getting different perspectives for
Spiritual
things.
lawyer.
Yeah. So over the
Like-
summer, I really got into debates.
I'm like, let me not debate her on anything.
No,
'cause
bro, I'm starting to get dialed in my
Like-
perspectives. Like
we'll be texting, and then like all of a sudden it'll turn into a debate, and I'm like, I didn't ask to debate because I know I'm not gonna win.
so maybe am I slowly
low
becoming
key,
a lawyer?
bro. Like low key.
No, I love debates. Like I love like just, I don't know, especially like health debates, like fit versus, you know, obese people, and getting different perspectives on that. And I think that's also really important for the major that I'm in, because it's like we have to be able to understand how these people can change unhealthy habits. Either you could be the fittest person on earth but have the most unhealthy mental health habits. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's not even just like, I think a lot of people think it's like cut and dry, like you have to, I don't know, if you're obese, then
Well, everyone's different,
you're
you know?
definitely unhealthy. Like, yeah, but you also have really thin people that
are unhealthy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been getting so into debates recently. And I like YouTube fiend, bro. Like that's literally me. Like I love getting
Watching all
different
these debates.
perspectives.
That's
But then
funny.
also you have to like, I don't know, like sometimes with these like people that have like these mental health problems, I'm like, but Jesus, you know what I
For
mean?
real.
And it's like, but it is really hard, and it's not like, again, like it's not like
I just think it's
black
hilarious.
and white at all.
Sometimes I feel like whenever I hear people's problems, I'm always like, wow, that's a simple solution. You know, Jesus. Like it's I feel like,
But also it's so much more complex than that.
but sometimes some people just don't want to like hear that. You know, they want like an actual like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a
going into that, something that we've been talking a lot about is like lukewarmness.
don't get us down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, because I feel like something that's been on my heart is like, I can definitely say there are some areas in my life where I feel lukewarm.
Same.
Like I think sometimes purity in my mind, I can feel really lukewarm. Like I can feel very like confident in my abilities to be pure in my heart one day, and then the next day it's like, wow, I'm really struggling with like lust, or I'm really struggling with like being pure in my mind, having like kind thoughts about people, being pure in my heart. And so I 100% understand like how it can be really easy to fall into that rabbit hole of being a lukewarm Christian. Like 100%. It's so easy because it's so normalized. Like it truly is, especially, oh my gosh, all I've been seeing on my my explore page has been about American Christianity and how lukewarm it is, and how it's self-help, how it's sedating, like, oh, like I'm gonna make you feel really good because Jesus loves you, but there's more to the story.
And what, you know, the crazy part for me, which I'm still kind of wrapping my head around, is like, before I turned to God, like whenever, like let's say if I 2 years ago or 3 years ago, if I saw myself now and like I didn't know myself, right, I was like, oh, that's just some random person that I met, like I'd be like, he's an insane Christian. Like that's what I would say. I'd be like, he's like a crazy like you know, religious dude. Like and like honestly, like in a negative way. Like obviously I know now that's not the case, but like back then that's how I would have thought of it. And I think that's just because of how lukewarm our society is, where it's like you see someone who literally, like, let's say just doesn't curse, like doesn't talk lustfully, like is just trying to be pure for Christ, and it's like, to me that's like, they're crazy, and that's how a lot of people view it, I feel like.
Oh yeah, like I just feel like our whole, I don't know, like our whole generation is starting to turn lukewarm. And you know, I need to find the verse.
We gonna find the verse.
It's in Revelation, but it literally warns us about being lukewarm. I remember reading this and I was like, oh, Revelation 3:15. I know your works, you are neither cold nor hot. Would that you were either cold or hot. So because you are lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. For you say, I am rich, I have prospered, and I need nothing, not realizing that you are wretched, pitiable, poor, blind, and naked. I counsel you to buy from me gold refined by fire, so that you may be rich, and white garments, so that you may clothe yourself, and the shame of your nakedness may not be seen, and salve to anoint your eyes, so that you may see. Those whom I love I reprove and discipline, so be zealous and repent. So I think a lot of people are scared of lukewarmness because they understand it literally says here, I counsel you to buy me from gold refined by fire, so that you may be rich in white garments. So I think people, like, when they know that they are lukewarm in some areas, they know that they have to be refined by the fire, because gold, you have to burn out its impurities, essentially. You have to, make it clean. You have to make it brand new again. From the old. And I think a lot of people, when they're lukewarm with their, let's say, for example, their mouth. Very I confess Jesus my tongue, but then you're slandering your brothers and your sisters. Yeah. Then you're cursing like a sailor. And it's you're so lukewarm because you're hot in one area, but then you're cold in another area. And then you mix that too, and then you're just lukewarm.
Pick and choose, and then it's just.
And so it literally says here, Jesus will spit us out of his mouth. He will say, I do not know you. That's, the scariest thing, when people claim to know Jesus and then he says, I do not know you. Because you are lukewarm. He will spit you out of his mouth. And, it's so sad to see such a beautiful generation and beautiful human beings being lukewarm for their Father. Yeah. And it's, it just doesn't make any sense to me, because we're just, grasping onto these things, having a chokehold on us, and thinking that they give us more happiness than our Father in heaven, than eternal life, guys. This is just so temporary, and we don't have time to waste to continue to be lukewarm. Yeah. There are things that we know we need to fix, and it continuously says in Revelation that you need to continue to repent. It says so many times, they did not repent and give him glory. They did not repent of their deeds. Those are the people that are lukewarm. Those are the people that are cold and that just are so far from God that they can't even repent with their tongue. And those are the people that are very far gone. It says the most blasphemous thing in the Bible is for people that continue to slander on the Lord's name. And those are the people that are so hard in heart that they can't even turn and repent for their deeds. But the great thing about being lukewarm is that you're almost there. Yeah. You're so close. You are so close. And it's really hard to deal with ice. You have to wait for it to melt, and then it becomes lukewarm. And for those people that are ice cold, it takes them a lot longer, but eventually they can become lukewarm, and eventually they can become hot and on fire for the Lord. They can just give glory to their Father in heaven. And so that's the thing that I feel I have seen a lot with American Christianity is it's so lukewarm. And I think especially now with having our faith in Jesus, we literally talked about this, you start to see it in different things of life too, running, for example. There's so many people that are so blessed with the gift of running, and I see them throwing it away for worldly things. And it's if you committed yourself to this one thing, if you committed to yourself and said, I want to be really good in that area, but then you're going and doing things that are opposite of what you're saying, it's so devastating. It's you can't even reach your full potential right now, because there are so many things that are holding you back and that have a chokehold on you. But that's literally the devil's tactics. He's well, you can have your cake and eat it too, basically. Oh, you can have this and then go do this on the weekend. No, you can't, because then you're going to be suffering in the area of life that you really want to prosper in. And so it's so frustrating. Lukewarmness is so frustrating, and I can't even imagine how frustrating it is for Jesus, that wants us so desperately to claim his name and continue to choose him over and over every day. It's not I choose Jesus once and one and done. It's I choose Jesus every single day, multiple times a day. And I need my daily bread from him every single day so that I can fight off these demons. I can fight off these evil spirits of lukewarmness. Yeah.
And I mean, the tough part about lukewarmness in our society is that it's really easy to be lukewarm, which is kind of what you said. It's it's really hard to fully commit to something. And the hardest battles require the strongest wills, and so being lukewarm is it's your way of like being in the battle but not actually being in the battle. It's almost like starting a race but like not really finishing it, or like not emptying the tank regardless of the result. And that's like a lot of lukewarmness, is like people like, oh yeah, this, that, and then like their actions don't show it. And I think that's something we've talked about a lot, and like how we don't want to be lukewarm, which is why we have a podcast, why we, do all the things we do. It's like, and something that like I've struggled with is like my tongue. I'm trying really hard not to speak bad with my tongue because it's not right, and it's just really easy to like fall back into your old ways, just because it's like it's what you're comfortable and used to.
It's habit.
But it is, and it's just like you have to just keep battling it and keep fighting it until it's gone. And so it's just like
literally burning out the impurities of the gold.
Exactly.
Like it's a long process, but it's so worth it. And oh my gosh, I heard this thing on a podcast, because I'm also really into podcasts right now. And it's like, it was saying that when you get refined by fire from Jesus, there are some people, that get refined by the fire and they're immediately screaming and they're like, stop, I don't want this, and then go back to like something that they're comfortable to. But then you have the people that are enduring and they're steadfast with it when they get burned in the fire, and they're like, okay, like I know this is going to produce pretty gold, I know that this is going to be worthwhile, and then they're patient, enduring the suffering, and then look at that, beautiful gold with no impurities. And so you have those two types of people, and like the sad reality is that the type of people that are willing to endure the fire and be burned and be hurt is very small. I literally just read in Matthew 10 about how here, let's pull it up right now. It's saying the harvest is plentiful and the laborers are few. And the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. So for us, we need to continue to pray for those people that are lukewarm so that they can also enjoy the harvest. You can't enjoy the harvest if you didn't like reap what you sow, basically. Or like continue to sow like little leaves and seeds. Yeah, we just have to continue to pray for our generation right now. And I think even with this podcast too, it's such an easy way to spread the gospel, but then also being aware of like false gospel that we're spreading. And I think that's also why we kind of wanted to take a break, because I felt in my heart, I was like, I don't want to like have this be something that I'm spreading negative or false energy into. And I have seen a lot about Gen Z and how they're so quick to get on a podcast, or so quick to, have a microphone, and they're not ready. And I think that is so true. I think that is so true. But then again, you have King Josiah being anointed king at like age 7 or 8. And it's like, he wasn't ready. Yeah. I think when God has put it on your heart,
he equips the called.
Yes, exactly. So I think there's two sides to the coin. I think, of course, everybody does not need to have a platform to speak on. And I think there are some times where you have to have, get ministered for a while to be able to, go out and spread the gospel. And this is not an easy or a light ministry. I want this to be something that we like literally just conversate about, and like we just like talk about things that have been on our minds, whether it's Christian, whether it's running, whether it's love, whether it's like, sadness, things that we're going through our life. Because I have a lot of stuff that I would love to just talk about on one podcast, but that would be like 5 hours long.
And that would be like 20 million hours long. Like, she never stopped talking.
Yeah, literally, I'm a yapper. I don't know if you could tell. And I think that's something that, God has like given me. He probably loves to hear me yap. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I think he does.
She's a great yapper.
Yeah, I be yapping too much sometimes. But, so just like being ready, because it does take a lot of time. And something about me, I don't know if you guys could tell, but Evan knows this very well, is that I can be very impatient. Like, that is something that I have prayed for every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. But I try to pray every single day about my patience, because I can be the most impatient person in the world.
No comment.
I'm surprised you don't have a comment about it, because you always want to be talking about it. But anyways. But yeah, I can be really impatient, and that's something that I'm really working on. And it's also really frustrating for me. This is not for anybody. It's just frustrating for me, because I frustrate myself when I'm impatient, because I'm just like, why am I so impatient? What is the rush? Like, there are so many things where I just feel like needs to happen immediately. Or like when people don't listen to what I have to say, but it takes them time to finally get to what I said. Or not. Maybe some people don't listen to my advice, but if they do decide to listen to my advice later on in the long term, it frustrates me that it didn't take them a day to realize it or get it. And yes, it's silly. It sounds silly, but I know there are probably other people that can relate to like patience, and like it can happen just in like the smallest things. Like if Evan doesn't get to the place that I want him right at the second that I told him to get there, we've had many arguments about this.
So they're hearing about our beef.
I mean, let's lay it all out there. Like, it's frustrating for me, but also it's really unfair to him. Like when I say I want you to be here at 8:29, and if he's not there at 8:29, he's there at 8:30, yeah, I got mad at him. And it's like, but he's still there, he still showed up. And so yeah, patience is something. Pray for me, y'all. I need the patience.
Praying for myself.
But it gets really hard, because that's also something that you could argue, oh, are you lukewarm in your patience? No, I promise I'm trying. And I think that's the difference, the intent behind it.
It is. And you can tell, like, we've talked about, it's funny because last week we were at AIA, which is our Athletes in Action, like Christian, group. And our, what should we call him? Our leader? Or what would you call DJ?
Leader, mentor.
Our mentor said something where it's like, if you are a Christian athlete on, at UT and you want to stand out, the two things you can do to stand out are not party/drink, and then not like have sex or like sleep around. And I think that's very true, because like we see so many people that do those things and claim to be like super religious, and then you kind of have to ask yourself, like, those are some of the hardest things to battle, but it's like, how much of it is them fighting and how much of it is them just like being lukewarm? And then you pray for them and you like honestly want to talk to them, because a lot of times it's like, I have people ask me like, oh, how do you do this or that? And I'm like, I think at a certain point you just have to have a little bit of the gut to, just do it, and not think it's impossible, because you're never going to be able to do anything unless you believe you can do it.
Yeah.
And
just know that God is right behind you doing it. He's pushing you for better.
He's endured so much worse. So like, I think it's really just like, kind of just doing it, honestly. Like Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Shia LaBeouf says that?
Yeah, you never seen that? That's the Nike.
No, I thought Nike just said it.
Yeah, but you haven't seen that meme? Like,
no.
I'm sure you guys have all seen that.
I ain't on Instagram Live.
No, this was in like 2010 or something.
Oh, yeah, then
I
don't know.
This was
I was
before
like 6.
Vaughn. Like, yeah.
6 years old.
But anyway, you can do anything you put your mind to. And I think, God gives you the strength to do it, and at a certain point, like we've heard this in sermons from our pastors, it's like, you can pray for the willpower from God to do this thing, but like you have to do it still. Like there's a part of over spiritualizing where it's like, oh, God's just gonna like take over my body and do this for me, and it's like no, like He is with you every step of the way, and you have the strength to do it, like, but you still have to do it, like you have to endure it. And that's really, once you get over that hump, that's like when you really start seeing difference in your life from being lukewarm, in my opinion, personally.
No, 100%. Yeah, and I agree. Like with the over spiritualizing, oh my gosh, like I read Joshua 3. Also, sidebar, I think year in a Bible plans are great, but I also don't think that you should stress too hard about doing your year in a Bible plan. Like if you start not having fun with, or like start like feeling like it's a chore and like you don't want to do it, don't do it. Read the Bible how you want to read the Bible. You don't have to follow a strict plan. That's just a sidebar, because I studied this from my year in a Bible plan, but I'm not doing it right now. I took a break because I started feeling really anxious when I was doing it. So anyways, that was a really quick sidebar. So I read Joshua 3 in my Bible study. Amazing. Joshua 1 is just amazing because it's it hones in on the fact where the Lord is saying to Joshua when he, got put into the head of position after Moses died, how he has to be strong and be courageous. Do not be discouraged or dismayed, for the Lord is with you wherever you go. And I think that is just such a beautiful reminder for us. We will be really scared to take these steps, but the Lord is with us wherever we go. And we can't be discouraged. We can't be dismayed. We just have to stay strong and stay courageous. And so in Joshua 3, when it talks about how Israel crossed the Jordan River, insane. Like, this was like a fantastic miracle. Like, it's actually like when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Like, I was just so fascinated by it. And how they were like, oh my gosh, this is going to be impossible to cross the Jordan River, because they were going into the promised land that the Lord was giving them. And they were nervous. They were like, oh my gosh, we can't do this. This is such a hard task that the Lord wants us to do. But the Lord just kept repeating to them, do not be discouraged or dismayed. I'm with you wherever you step. And so they carried the Ark of the Covenant. And then literally the Lord told them, carry this ark and then take a couple steps and just watch what will happen. Yeah. And as soon as they took that first step into the river, boom, split, like insane. And they walked on dry land over to the promised land. And that is just something that, like, we have to understand that when we want blessings or we want the Lord to prosper in his way, his will, we have to take the steps. God continues to remind us that he's always with us wherever we go, but we have to take those steps. And I think that's something that we talked about a lot too, is like the whole over spiritually.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I can't say that
word. Over spiritualizing, guys.
Thank you. Yeah. Even in our relationship, like, if we want to be better for each other, we can't just be like, Lord, make me more patient.
No, it's like, you gotta.
He will continue to test us. Yeah. Like, he will test Evan to test me. Like, Evan will do something, and I really got to take a deep breath to have some patience in that moment. And I'm like, but this.
She always breathing deep. Let me tell you guys.
But this is the Lord testing us. Like, this is the Lord testing me and saying, like, if you want this, I will give it to you, just maybe not the way that you want it, so that I can continue to produce your patience. Mm-hmm. That's the only way that we'll be able to exercise anything that the Lord wants to give us. It's not just here you go. No, we got to work for it if we really want it. And then if we give it up, then it's like, okay, we don't really want it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's just such a beautiful depiction of, like, how we need to have those steps and how we need to go out in faith, in bold faith too. It's not just like, okay, Lord. No, have faith that the Lord will get you to where you need to go, too.
Truly believe in it. Don't just...
Yes, and literally for all of the miracles that you'll read in the Gospels about Jesus, these people were getting healed because of their faith. The lady that was bleeding for 12 years touched his garment and believed that could heal her, and it did. Like, we have to have faith that the Lord can do this. It's not just like, okay, I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope, you know? Like, have faith that the Lord can get you where you need to go on his will, on his accord. And I think with the lukewarmness, going back to that really quick, having faith that he can pull you out of that lukewarmness. Pray for that. Man, I have prayed some hard prayers about being pulled out of sexual sin. Like, when we were in sexual sin, I had some really tough prayers, crying out to the Lord, not really believing in myself, but I was like, you know what? If it happened, it's the Lord's will. If it happens, like, that's God's grace and mercy. And it happened, guys. It happened. Mm-hmm. And we're out of it. You know, every day we're still battling lust and we're still battling temptations and stuff like that. It doesn't get easier. If anything, it gets harder exactly. Because now it's kind of like, okay, I just want to be married. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
but you also notice those things more.
Yes, you do. It's like heightened senses in a way.
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to talk about. About our concert that we had. Mm-hmm. Which was a blast.
It was super fun.
But so with this concert, I kind of realized, like, I don't know if it's just me. I think we talked about this in the car ride, because it's just me. Since I play, like, guitar and different instruments, when I listen to music, even rap or whatever, I'm not really listening to the lyrics. Yeah. And we were talking about how I can't even memorize the lyrics of my favorite songs anymore because I never listen to the lyrics. And but when you're live watching, you hear the lyrics more, you know, just because everyone's singing it. I feel like it's more, like, in your face. Mm-hmm. And, like, the Weeknd concert was such a blast, but, like, listening to the lyrics, like
some of it was vulgar.
Are insane. And you know, it kind of just makes you realize like how, like we were talking about how lukewarm our society is, because like I'm sure there's a lot of people in that crowd who are religious. Like,
I saw a bunch of people with crosses on
yeah,
their
I mean, of course.
And we're not gonna sit here and act like we're better than anybody, because we were
at the concert
too.
Yeah, like, and
it
was awesome. Like, I'm not gonna deny that, but it was crazy though, like just kind of realizing, and then also like watching TV, like as you become less lukewarm, you notice how lukewarm other people are around you. It's kind of like in running, let's say. Once you start really working hard and dialing in on everything, you kind of realize how like undialed everyone else is.
Yeah, like, oh, you're hitting the sauna 3 times
it's like
a week?
you're only getting 6 hours of sleep. Like,
yeah!
It's like,
yeah,
like
that's
what?
A big one.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
thought
all
this
of
was
them.
like, oh, we had to do that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
But what's funny is as you build the habit, it becomes just it just becomes a habit. I mean, simple as that. Like, I get now never less than 7 hours of sleep, always 8 or 9 hours of sleep. And it's not because, like, I have to force myself to sleep every night. It's just because, like, I'm used to it. And I honestly love sleeping. Yeah. But it goes with that for everything. It's like eating before runs. Like, that used to be a chore, but now it's like you just eat before your workout. You know, you need to get that energy. And all sorts of stuff like that, and not going out, and you know, all this stuff it becomes more natural. And that's the same with your lukewarmness, like, and noticing it with other people. And that's kind of like, really, that's what blew my mind, is like, as I become less lukewarm, I notice how lukewarm everyone else is. And like the concert was a very clear demonstration of that, which it was still a blast. Like, I had a great time. And it was
crazy to me too, because like I told Evan this, like, all I've been listening to is gospel music. Yeah. And then, like, that was, like, the first time in a long time that I hadn't listened to, like, just gospel music. And I was like, I have grown up listening to The Weeknd. So
that's
like,
her favorite artist.
Like, like, you ask anybody, and I'm always, like, The Weeknd. Like, my Spotify Wrapped, it was always The Weeknd at the top. Yeah. Like, either The Weeknd or Tory Lanez. I don't really listen to Tory Lanez as much anymore, because I really only listen to gospel music now. Like, you tell Evan, like, oh my gosh, and like when I first started getting really devoted about the Lord, he was like, oh, gospel music.
Yeah,
like,
gospel's tough for me.
It was that was all I was listening to, because I was like, you know what, like, I need to filter what I put in into my mind, body, and soul, you know? Like, it's so true. And like, people, you know, will defend things like music, and they're like, oh, well, it doesn't really tempt me. It's like passive temptation.
That's the thing, is you just don't realize it.
You listen to people talking about sex, money, and drugs, and then you're over here thinking about sex more. You're over here thinking about, like, oh, what if I just tried marijuana for the first time? Oh, money. Oh my gosh, like, I need to have this amount of money. Like, it's all passive.
It is.
And so, like, that was my first time listening to The Weeknd in a long time. And it, like, The Weeknd, okay, I've started defending him, because I'm pretty sure he's coming to God. I'm pretty sure he's making his way to Jesus.
You're trying to find any reason.
No, like,
to
I'm
defend
so
it.
serious though, because you listen to his last song on the album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, and it talks about him coming back to Jesus. And so, like, I think hopefully we can get able to make gospel music so I can continue to listen to him. But then it's like, it was just like an environment that, like, I really didn't want to be in. Like, I wish it was just a me and Weeknd type of thing. Like, it was like a private concert, because then you have because then you have, like, people smoking weed, you have people drinking alcohol, and then it's like, if somebody like someone's like, oh, she's at The Weeknd, you know what I mean? Why is she at The Weeknd? She believes in God. And it's like those type of things that really make you kind of like take a step back, and it's like, this is so true. I'm an ambassador of Christ. Do you know what I mean? Like, I represent Christ and who he is. And if I'm surrounded by, you know, things that are very ungodly or unholy, or that trap people in addictions and stuff, why am I there? If I'm not spreading the gospel. Yeah. Like, I think if we were out there at the Weeknd concert, you know, talking to a bunch of people about God, I think that's a great way to like kind of steward that. But it was kind of more just like, okay, in and out. Like, want to listen to the music and we're out. Like, you know, but like, it really made me think as well. Yeah.
But I also think there's a fine balance. I think, like, that was just an observation for me. But I think we were talking about this. So I had a running workout on Friday, right? And I was by myself working out, and I was just like alone with my thoughts. And like, part of me, like, the whole time was thinking, like, why don't I just like quit everything in my life and just put it straight towards like spreading the gospel and like creating disciples, because like God's promise is so much greater than anything earth has to offer. Like, why even bother? Like, that's like really, like, I was thinking about that, and I was like kind of seriously contemplating, because I'm like, why do I need this, and you know, all these fun things, and like, you know, because none of them are really that fun in comparison to what's coming for us.
Yeah.
And I also think that, you know, God created earth for us to, you know, live in a place that we can enjoy, you know, and I think
with
that's part
people. With
community. And so I think like I was kind of thinking about that like aspect of going on the extreme, and then kind of dialing it back to realizing like, hey, like, it's okay that I like the weekend, like it's okay that I like this and this, you know, like that's not the end of the world, right? Like, I think within reason, like, I'm not saying go enjoy doing sinful things. Like, you have to fight those temptations. You have to find out what is a gift from God and what is just temptation, you know. But I think like there's a lot of stuff like golf. I mean, enjoying golf, is there anything wrong with that? Like, am I sinning by enjoying golf, you know? Like, stuff like that where it's like, oh, but I don't need to golf. Like, how is that helping spread the gospel, you know? And so I think like there's a balance between, you know, getting to enjoy the passions that God's kind of given you, and then also, you know, using it to glorify him and knowing what's temptation versus what's actually benefiting you. And that's kind of just a little thing I was like thinking about, and that's kind of like relates to the concert, where it's like, okay, we recognize that maybe this is not the most like godly place to be, or godly lyrics to, you know, sing along with or whatever, but like, you know, we're working on it and we're enjoying it, and I think it's a balance.
It's a work in a progress,
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, a
like,
work in a progress.
I know. I don't know.
A work in progress.
Work in progress. But no, I 100% agree. Like, I think, you know, God gave us things that are on our heart to enjoy. Like, you love golf, you love motorcycles, you love guitar, you love foosball. It's not unholy to enjoy those things, you know? And I think it's such a blessing that we can give him glory in the things that we love doing. Now, I will say, when it comes to music, secular music and worldly music, I saw this thing and it was like, there's a difference between secular music and profane music. Now, if you have profane music that's like, big booty bee, you know, I'm a bee, whatever, I don't think we should be listening to that as Christians. I think that's just completely disturbing and like disrespectful to like human beings in general, because it's talking about, you know, the most absurd stuff.
Well, music is the crazy. That's where you really notice it with those lyrics. Like listening to like Playboy Cardi 2.
Oh dear, yeah,
I mean,
I couldn't get behind that.
I couldn't either. I was like, this is just terrible.
Yeah,
like,
we both sat down for that.
Yeah,
we were like,
and it's just because it's like all it is talking about is like just the worst
sex,
sins
money,
you
and
can
drugs.
Yeah, and it's like how is. And you're in the stadium, the Houston Texans stadium, with how many thousands of people in the stands, and you're like, wow, that many people love this music. Like, that's what music has come to. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's crazy to me.
And then also, like, oh, yes. But also there are things that make you you. And then, like, with the secular music, like, anything that's not gospel music is secular music. Like, somebody said, like, happy birthday is secular music, you know, because it doesn't shine light on God. It's, like, talks about you. Like, it's just, it's very, like, other than gospel music, it's all secular music. And so I think we obviously have to have discernment when it comes to things, and I think there are things that we naturally get convicted of. Like, horror movies. I love talking about horror movies. Evan doesn't really like talking about horror movies.
See, I love horror movies.
Just because I'm very passionate about the fact that we as Christians should not be watching horror movies. And there was an incident when I was at my camp or whatever where they wanted to watch a horror movie. And there were people there that were kind of like advertising for the horror movie. And it was just kind of like, why do you want to watch that? You know, like, why are we inviting devils or evil spirits even if it's entertaining to watch? Why are we inviting that into our life? If you don't want to even listen to profane music, why are you then flipping to the other extreme of wanting to watch devils in action and watch horror in action and things that are slaughtering people, you know? Just like ghosts. It's all
negative, basically.
No, it's the devil's work. It's not even negative. It's just like the devil's work. And so there's two sides of the coin. when you have to discern what you're watching on TV. Also, I think things that we watch and intake can tempt us, like I said before. Like if we're watching like an R-rated movie with a lot of sex in it, that's obviously going to want to tempt you. And I don't think us as Christians should be watching things that tempt us, because then that just leads to sin. Temptation doesn't always lead to sin. We can combat temptation, like how Jesus did in the wilderness for 40 nights and 40 days, where the devil was tempting him and he said, not on my watch today. I ain't doing that today.
That's great.
So I think there are, of course, things that, we can combat as Christians, but I think we should obviously be smart and have a lot of discernment when it comes to that. And I think it's very wise to have discernment. And that's something that you just gain as you continue to follow Jesus and you start to understand what his voice sounds like when it gets backed by scripture. It talks about multiple times in the New Testament, we have to shield our eyes and ears to things of the world, because we are ultimately in the world, but we just are not of the world.
Yeah.
So, I think that's just super, super, super important. And that's something that we're, I think Jesus sometimes puts us in these situations where we can kind of like see it clearly. Because when we're blinded by, the excitement of going to see our favorite artist for our whole life, and like then actually being put in that position, it's kind of like, wow. Oh, okay.
This is my favorite artist?
Yeah, and it's like there's a lot of cussing. I'm over here like,
for real, bro.
Like, that was me, like, having to not say the word. Yeah. And it's just like, if I'm having to censor myself that much, then I probably shouldn't be singing in the right place. But, so I think we live and we learn. And then also, like, for anybody that's wondering, me and Evan did not share a bed.
No.
Just to limit temptation. And I think, like, obviously we don't really owe anybody an explanation of what we decide to do, but I think it's also really important to, like, be open.
Yeah,
like,
and we shared a room because obviously we're not going to spend money on 2 rooms. Like, I feel like that's...
Yeah, but we did not share a bed.
Yeah, we did not share a bed.
We had our own separate beds.
Yeah.
So...
And no
bunny business.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you just...
So just letting anybody know if they're curious... if you made it to all the way at the end of this podcast. Yeah. But I think this podcast episode was just like, I don't know. I feel like it's more us. Like, I feel like we're just talking to you guys. Like, you guys are literally in the room with
and
us.
We're going to get better at this too. It's almost like a reset. Like, when our first ever podcast, we're like, guys, we're going to get better. We're working on this. And we got better at that style. Mm-hmm. And now we're trying to up our quality a little bit. As you can see, we're going to have 2 cameras.
Okay, 2.
Yeah, 2. We're trying to up our quality a little bit.
So we're going to have 2 microphones.
Yeah. And then, we're just having a dialogue. And we're really trying to dial in on, because obviously, like, to be honest, it's weird recording with the camera. Like, it's not as natural as in a coffee shop, just us talking. Mm-hmm. But we want to get to the point where you guys are, family like you already are. Mm-hmm. But to make it really feel like when we're recording, it's just us talking. And, like, you're almost part of the conversation, but you're also not distracting the conversation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and just talk about things that we're going through in our life. Yeah. Talking about lukewarm and then giving you an example of maybe how we could have came off lukewarm this weekend. Exactly. And I think we're also growing in our faith, and like I think this break was just so necessary for us to kind of like
we're busy guys.
And we're busy, but I also want to it's not summer anymore. It's fall.
Not anymore, but I'm saying like over the summer is when we took our break. Like
Yeah, but I think I obviously want to become more consistent in our podcast posting, and we just appreciate you guys so much. And like I truly think that like God will, steward this to whoever needs to hear it. And I truly just want you guys to understand that like we are human, we make mistakes, and give us grace as we are giving you guys grace. I know how hard it can be. I felt extremely lukewarm in my first couple, probably first year of really getting to know Jesus. Like, I felt very lukewarm. And, like, I couldn't even imagine what people were saying about me. You know what I mean? But I think as Christians, we're called to, call people out with love. Call people out and then give them practical ways of how they can be better and how we can all steward our gifts for Jesus, give glory to him, give light to him. And yeah, I think just give your neighbors grace, give your people grace, and the rest will follow. Love will follow after that. But I just love each and every single one of you guys, and I think that God has just blessed you guys in so many different ways that I can't even see, but I just know He's working, and blessings are still happening. Faith causes blessings, and I don't want us to be a generation where it's like blessings cause faith. I think that, blessings happen, but we should already have that faith to know that the blessings are going to be there. Mm-hmm. So I just love you guys so much.
And
eating gives you wings. Bye.
Bye.